So I can't say I didn't expect it, but in this custody battle with my ex-wife that she initiated, she's turned the kids against me, and this is what she's been promising to do since roughly 2017, whenever she wouldn't get her way, which is a big part of the reason I divorced her. One of the many, but one of the biggest reasons is that using my kids against me as a weapon is so morally and ethically wrong, I don't even know how to address it. You know, like back then, all I could do was make a video and be like, well, this is what she's doing now. I can't believe she's doing it, but she's doing it. And I'd make it private, and I'd put it away for later. And, you know, I figured if I ever went through this, at least I can say that she's always done this, and this was her idea, and this is why we're in this battle, is because, you know, she wants to get her own way. Mostly, I think it has to do with the fact that I get benefits for my kids from my Social Security, and she wants that exclusively for herself. But one thing that she just said that I think is terrible is she's telling the kids that all I do is I buy them with my money. Like, I buy them stuff and bribe them with expensive things and, you know, all this, and I don't really care about them, or that I don't really spend time with them, but that all I do is spend money on them to get them to like me, which is so offensive to me, so patently false. So my ex-wife's family never went on vacation. They basically never left Idaho. My family never went on vacation. I think my parents went to Mazatlan once, and then when I was a young kid, we went to Yellowstone once, but we didn't do vacations. My dad worked endless hours. My mom worked endless hours. I didn't get to see my parents. In contrast to that, when I was working and my daughter was 2 or not even quite 2, like 18 months, and my ex-wife said, hey, I need your help. You know, this is too much for me to do by myself, raising this baby. So I quit my job. I was a manager for Federal Communications. I was a field technician manager, so I was on the road. I had my own company car, my own company credit card, you know, whatever. It was a good job, paid well. I quit that. I came home and I started a business doing field service on my own. Just, you know, I incorporated and I started, you know, getting customers and doing my own service for people so that I could be home with my daughter. And then I got a job, well, with my daughter and my wife, that is, but then I got a job at home doing remote support for a robotics engineering company doing automated pharmacies. The company's name was Talist. And I worked at home 9 to 5, 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. while my wife slept, and I took care of the babies. And there's a million videos, because I do these social media videos, where I'm at work at home, you know, taking calls, and I'm holding my baby, and I'm making a video for activist causes. And, you know, one baby or the other, out of the 4 of them, there's probably 100 videos each with my kids in them, me holding them and, you know, doing one of these updates, one of these vlogs for social media. And so the vacations we went on, I mean, we went to like 12 countries on 3 continents, and we've seen almost every single state. I've seen every single state. The kids have seen like over 35 states. And we went on a ton of vacations, and I spent a lot of time with them. You know, my daughters, well, all my kids have caught their first fish with me. You know, we went fishing. I think all of them but Amelie, all of them but my littlest here, have caught their first fish with me. We went camping, we went road tripping, we went to Disney World, we went to Universal Studios, we went, you know, all these different places to explore the world and give them a new perspective and expand their point of view and to spend quality time with them. And I would miss meals. I would miss sleep. I would miss, you know, many things so that I could spend all the time I could with my kids. And now she's convinced them that all I do is spend money on them, and that's all that I'm about. It's not about me spending time with them. It's all about me spending money on them, which is absolute shit. When I got here from Hawaii, I moved here to be next to my kids because my ex-wife moved here. I moved here to be with my kids. And then the first thing I started doing was, even before I had a car, even before I could afford to really live well, so I started taking my kids to the water park. I started taking them to the field where we could play soccer. I started, you know, interacting with them even though I didn't have a lot of money, I would miss meals. I didn't even buy a car for the first 6 months. And I would take the bus or I would walk. I was walking like 110 miles a month as to avoid spending money on transportation so that I could do little fun things with my kids and spend actual time with them. And in the 2 years that my ex-wife had lived here before I got here, she had never taken them to the water park. Any of them. I've taken them to all the water parks around here. She's never taken them to any of them by the time I got here. And all I can do is what I'm limited to with what finances I have and with, what my body can handle. I'm getting my pinky finger amputated on the 19th because I continue to hurt myself at work. I fell off a ladder 1 month, and then the next month I cut my finger off and the doctor had to sew it back on, and the tendons haven't taken. And so they're going to amputate my finger at the knuckle. And in 2013, on my way home from work during training, the 1 or 2 times I left home and actually went to work, I went from Northern California to Seattle, and on the way home, I almost got killed by a drunk driver, just trying to provide for my family. He hit me head on and he died, and I almost died. I got a whole bunch of damage. My arm came off and broken at the humerus. My leg was crushed in 46 breaks. I have titanium holding me together. And all of this was to provide for my family and love my family the best I could. We always had good things, nice cars, nice houses, nice vacations. And for her to, breed this, discord and tell my kids all these fake things and make sure they believe them, it's just exactly what she promised she would do when I started talking about the divorce topic. Is that she said she would turn the kids against me. They wouldn't even want to be with me, she said, you give it time, I'll turn them against you. Her words verbatim in 2017. This is sick. This is narcissistic. This is really hurting the kids as far as I'm concerned. And then she tells the kids that I always used to tell her that she dressed like a man. That's not true. Her brother, now this is to clear this up, I swear to God, lie detection will be 100% accurate someday, but when my daughter said that, I said, Mom said you always used to tell her she dressed like a man. I said, no, I didn't. I hardly ever said that. When she would bring it up, it was because her brother told her when I first met her, before we got married, that she would dress like she was wearing a burlap sack because she wore baggy men's clothes, like Gencos and all these pants with the big, stovetop or stovepipe legs and all this, the big giant baggy pants. And my ex-wife's brother, my brother-in-law, would tease her and tell her that she's dressed up like she's wearing a burlap sack. And throughout our marriage, a few times here and there, we laughed about it, but I never jeered her or shamed her for the way she dressed. It's silly. But I think the one topic that they miss that is relevant and that I did say is, when she would deny me sex, when she would, try to punish me or put me in timeout or, make me think about things or, whatever. I don't know what she was trying to do. And maybe I was on the road and maybe traveling. Something that I always told her happened is that, yes, I did pleasure myself so that I could, receive those hormones that help me rest, help me relax, and help me go to sleep. Like the night that I got hit in that accident, I hadn't slept in like 3 days. I drove up from Northern California to Seattle and I drove home and I worked those 3 days and I hardly slept, maybe 2 hours the entire time I was there. And so, yeah, there was some times where I watched videos and pleasured myself, and probably as many times as I can count on my hands and toes is it, the entire marriage that I have to do that. But she would tell me, oh, you can't control yourself. You can't control yourself. It's like, well, I can't control sperm production. I make 5,000 sperm a second, and at some point it has to be released. That's just biology. That has nothing to do with whether I can control myself or not. However, I would appreciate it if you'd put down the pastries and stop gaining so much weight, because, she gained a significant amount of weight and she couldn't control herself. So when she would jeer me about the porn issue or something, oh, you can't control your body, you can't resist, you can't control yourself. It's like, well, actually, I'm pretty good at controlling myself, as I can only count how many times that's happened in our marriage by using my hands and toes, and probably less than those, 20 digits is how many times it occurred in our 18-year marriage. But, as far as controlling oneself, I think, consuming food and pastries and sugary things as much as she did is more of a problem than me, getting some relief at night when she wouldn't be there for me or wasn't there for me, or when I was out on the road somewhere. I wasn't causing myself any damage, any physical damage or any emotional damage or anything like that. But, gaining hundreds of pounds does damage a body and does reduce lifespan and does, affect the quality of life. And so, I don't know, maybe the 5 or 10 times I said, yeah, but, you're gaining a lot of weight, in response to her saying, well, you can't control your body. I don't think my kids ever heard me say that, but now she's putting this in their head that I was shaming her looks the whole time. It's not true. It's absolutely patentedly false. And I swear to God, lie detection combined with AI and all the improvements that's coming out, it will be 100% accurate someday. And I look forward to that day, because my kids are getting a whole ear full of bullshit in this custody battle. And it's terrorizing them, and it's terrorizing me.